Because you guys do play in such odd time signatures, and it's very experimental.
Yeah, and
it's a far cry from what we do in Chestnut Grove, and it's so cool to like see how music can operate in so many different ways.
Yeah, we only use like 3/4/4/4. John's songs in 6/8, I think.
Yeah, you can have a whole career making music in 4/4, but
yeah,
and I love music in all sorts of like styles and time signatures and whatever. But I have always had like a love for like progressive music and kind of like
I grew up like very
stuff like that,
like involved in that. And as a drummer, I've never been good enough to really do it. I've always just found an interest in it. I can do more of it now, but like when we started, I was like, I tried to like kind of mess with like Yes and like Bill Bruford type things, who I'm still a massive fan of, but I'm more of just a fan. I just never was able to like really play.
I'll show you a Bill Bruford beat after this.
All right, sick. And then I was actually I have one thing written here. I was like, a free lesson for myself, Dee, and all of our fans. As a drummer, many people might be disappointed that I'm even asking this question, but and I'll have this in my back pocket for when my students ask me then too. But I always struggle with what the difference between like, I guess like subdivided like time signatures are, like a 5/8 or like a 5/4, or like a 6/8 or a 3/4.
Sure.
And like, how would you count? What would you count differently about like a 5/8 and a 5/4?
So basically, if you have, the way I always describe time signatures is the top number, the bottom number is what type of note, and the top number is how many of that note to make a measure. So if you have 5/4, then there's 5 quarter notes in a measure. If you have 5/8, then there's 5/8 notes in a measure.
Okay.
So the main difference would be with 5/4, the quarter notes, you can have like a steady beat through the whole thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you have like a steady pulse like that. And with 5/8, it kind of will skip. It's like having 2.5 beats. It's like you can highlight the accents in any way, but for instance, it'd be like 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2, or like 1 and 2 and 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 1. So anyway, the stuff that's over 4, if you have a 5/4 or something, anything over 4, you could very easily trick someone into thinking it's 4/4 or make it feel danceable because it has a steady beat.
That's nice to know too. Then
one of my favorite examples is Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
The thing's all 7. It's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1. It's all in 7, the whole thing, but you could feel a beat. I love when this happens too. I heard that song like 100 times, 200 times before I realized it was in 7.